And we are live once again, coming to you from I.R.E. Dallas, Texas 2023. I appreciate everybody checking in once again. I'm with a good friend, Ryan Holliday with iink. So, Ryan, let's get right into this, man. Welcome to the show, first and foremost,
Thank
man. I met you down at SRC, up down in Denton, Texas, probably 2, 3, 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
The only thing that I really know about you, and I hope you don't take offense to this, but you have a really badass truck. So you're the ink dude that has the really badass truck. And tell us more about what it is that you do.
So we are a property claim payments company, and used to be a roofer. My good friend and business partner, Ken, is a public adjuster. He and I got sick of chasing the money, as we like to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that had to do with running around, chasing that check and getting that piece of paper in the bank so we could actually get paid.
Mm-hmm.
We just decided to put an end to it. So we've built a payments platform that will ultimately eliminate multi-party checks from the industry. So if you can imagine a utopias world where claim is approved and money comes to you as the contractor gets started with the work within, could be minutes or within 24 hours, as opposed to 2 to 4 weeks now, that's what we're working towards.
Okay. So basically, if there's a storm or whatever, a homeowner has an insurance claim. So instead of us, I guess, waiting or the homeowner waiting for the money, you basically finance the job prior to the money coming in.
Well, we don't finance the job prior to the check landing, but we do finance the actual check itself. So let's say you have a mortgage company on that check.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that the mortgage companies can take maybe 2 to 4 weeks, even on an easy check, sometimes longer with the larger checks. So what we do is we offer advances on those check funds in the interim while we're working to eliminate that check. We knew that the carriers and the mortgage companies wouldn't adopt overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that we want to continue playing with that check, but we at least offer the advanced funding on that now. And we do have a product coming in the near future here that's going to offer the funding on the undisputed on the claim as well. So as long as the claim has been approved for a certain dollar amount, then we're going to start advancing the funds before they are released from the carrier, keeping that cash flow moving for you guys.
Okay, so you're not doing that quite yet, but you're going to.
We're very close. It's just a matter of how we have the accounting set up in our system right now. So we're building a back-end digital wallet that's going to help with all the accounting. As you can imagine, it's quite complex, providing all that remittance for every stakeholder that's involved with that check payment: the mortgage company, insurance company,
Mm-hmm.
the insureds, the contractor, any other restoration professional that may have been involved. But once that wallet is complete, our dev team's working on it right now. It's going to be done this quarter. We're going to be able to track it claim by claim instead of the individual check payments, at which point we'll be able to offer the funding on the full claim once it is approved.
Wow. Now, is this like a normal thing within our industry?
Normal in the sense of
like it just, for whatever reason, I don't think I've ever quite heard of anyone doing exactly what you're doing. So I guess, is anyone doing something that you're doing? And I guess, why did you see like a gap that needed to be filled? So twofold question here. Like, is this a normal thing that there's other companies that are doing this, is my first question.
So no, we are the first company of its kind to set out to really solve the problem. I think there are other companies like factoring companies or companies that may provide alternative financing, but they're really, I think, beating you over the head with some of their interest rates. I mean, it's anywhere between, it could be 6 and 11%, sometimes more, and that's taking a big chunk out of your margin, your net margin. For our advanced funding product, we charge 1.95%, and it's much more affordable. But really, it's a stopgap to getting rid of that paper check.
Mm-hmm.
We know that it's just a matter of moving the funds and getting the data where it needs to go to replace that remittance that a paper check provides for all parties. And once we can do that, the money can just move faster. We won't have to loan it out unless it's maybe a same-day transfer. But right now, we advance the funds because of that piece of paper that has to move.
Okay. So did you guys see a gap that needed to be filled because nobody was offering anything quite like this? With you having the contractor experience background, did you feel like that this was something that we needed for our industry?
I did. We couldn't find anything close to what we were offering. There were no companies that were trying to solve for, I think, the payments process in our industry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we really see ourselves excelling, is solving for the movement of the money throughout all the stakeholders in our industry. It's not just sending the funds out of the carrier straight to a contractor. Anybody can send an ACH, right? But it's actually splitting that payment to all the appropriate parties that are involved and making sure it does so quickly and consistently.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did not see any other company out there was providing a similar service. We have seen obviously factoring companies, but no one that's doing it like we are.
Okay. How long have you guys been doing this?
So we launched the company in 2017. We were really more of a TPA offering processing services of those checks. And in 2019, we started our bank integration. Once we were bank integrated, we became more of a payments company, and we were able to offer, ACH services, advanced funding services. We're able to digitally endorse those checks and have each party, just kind of like a DocuSign for a multi-party check experience, digitally endorse it on their phone so that they can deposit those funds a lot faster than having to run around town, get the signatures, and then take it to the bank.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of which, a couple of things are going through my mind selfishly because I am a contractor, and I'm wondering, I'm curious. So if I wanted to start using your services, okay, so I guess there's a whole lot of question in this. So first and foremost, I guess, what criteria is what I have to what would I have to go through to use your service first and foremost? So like, do you do a background check, credit check? Like how does that go?
So we do a 150 point underwriting check, basically a bank level check, same as if you were going to open up a business bank account. We want to make sure that everybody receiving funds is who they are, or they are who they say they are, rather. And I think as we want to, I hate to say it, reduce liability on the carrier side or even on the mortgage side, we want to make sure that vetted professionals are receiving these funds. It helps the insureds feel a lot more comfortable with transacting digitally. So everybody goes through a verification process, but it's fairly painless. You're providing your contracting license, your insurance, your W-9, things that we know are static documents that are sent off to the mortgage companies on a regular basis. And then we do a light underwriting. Takes less than 24 hours. We usually have everybody approved.
Okay, so within 24 hours, you're getting us approved. Now, the other part to that question is, so let's say I have a job that I gotta perform, and we need money. How long does that process take, and what is that process?
So typically the process starts whenever the insurance check lands. So let's say you have a $25,000 roof claim, and the first ACV check lands, could be, decent amount, whatever that amount is. Check gets uploaded to our platform front and back, just very similar to like a remote deposit capture with your bank. And then we also request some details about the claim, maybe the scope of loss. We verify that information. If there's no mortgage company on the check, it's really nice. Everybody that's on that check can digitally endorse it. So even if the insured receives it, they could live an hour away. You could be in. I mean, how far do you guys service in York or out of York? You're an hour, 2 hours?
We're in 7 different states.
7 different states. So you're not driving around picking up all those checks. But when they land, your customer can actually upload a picture of the check front and back. You can send them a link to do that. You provide a couple more details, and then once everybody signs off, that check goes where those check funds go, where they need to go. So if it's everything to you, great. If it's 95% to you and 5% back to the homeowner because they're taking care of some interior painting or something along those lines, we can split that check payment any which way that you want. And it's actually a free service if there's no mortgage company.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes just a minute or two to upload that check and get those funds in your bank. And then, of course, if there is a mortgage company, we handle all of that back and forth communication with them, and even offer a product where you can receive those funds sooner than they would actually be available off of that check.
Okay, so it sounds like you've alleviated a huge pain point for us contractors. So how did you come up with this idea? Like, obviously, was it because of your contracting experience and background?
Yeah, I was
like, was there an experience that you had that you like, man, this sucks, I wish we had something?
So back in 2008, during the last crash,
mm-hmm.
I was working in the mortgage industry, and we very quickly were going to be out of a job if we didn't find something else to do other than origination. So we started helping people out of foreclosure. We built a very, I would say it was quite a successful third-party loss mitigation company. We were tied in with all the major, mortgage companies on the servicing side, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase.
Mm-hmm.
and we were helping probably 60 or 70 people save their homes every single month. And in that experience, we learned that if we didn't fight our way to the top of these departments, we weren't going to get anywhere. And it was very unfortunate for all these people that were calling into the 800 number trying to get help. They were getting nowhere. So fast forward to 2016, when I got into roofing and we started seeing that the mortgage companies were involved in these mortgage checks, I realized this was going to be a real pain in the ass for our customers. So we started doing it internally, handling the checks in and out of the mortgage company for our customers, because number one, we wanted to have more control over our accounts receivable. Number two, we wanted to take that off of the insured's plate because they don't deal with this on a regular basis. We were dealing with, sometimes 10, 20 different claims a week on a rolling basis. So controlling it in-house alleviated that pain point for our customers, help provide a better customer experience. And, after about 6-8 months of doing that for our company, my good friend and partner, Ken, who is a PA, we got together one day. We're at the ale house. It was Sunday, September 11th, 2016. We were having a beer, watching a football game. And Ken said, how much money do you have tied up in the mortgage companies right now? I was like, probably 7 or 8 jobs, probably close to 80 grand. He's like, I probably got 50 grand in just my own fees tied up at the mortgage companies. Why don't we take some of our experience that we have in these industries, go find some of your buddies in tech and build a better way to facilitate this payment? I said, that's a great idea. Let's do it. And that's how iink was born.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome. And usually that's how things are born. I mean, through trying to make your process better. And then you saw where, hey, we should share our experience with other contractors. So do you mind me talking about like your fees and things like that? And really, I want to talk about things like this because I want people to know who you are and what services you offer and how affordable they are. So if you could share that with us, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely. So to get iink verified, it's only $299 to go through our underwriting process. Once you're iink verified, you're good to start uploading checks. And like I mentioned before, if it's could be a multi-party check without a mortgage company, we don't charge anything for that, free. So you could have 4 people listed on that check, 1 person that's not listed on the check. Even sometimes the contractors aren't on that check, but you can add them to that payment. And as long as there's no mortgage company, everybody can digitally endorse. We move those funds. It's the same as if you would take a check to the bank a couple days and it's there, except you don't have to run around town. So you're getting immediate value just by signing up. And then if there is a mortgage company, we have 2 options. The first option is our standard processing, which is essentially we handle that back and forth communication with the mortgage company, let you know, here's all the communication we've had. Here's where the check is being released and where it's going. So that way it's not sitting on Mrs. Johnson's dining room table for 3 weeks before anybody knows it's there, right? And that service is it's 1%. We cap it at $150 per check. So even if you have a large loss check, it's a $100,000 check. It's not going to cost you more than $150. And we do have our advanced funding service, which is only 1.95%, and that includes the processing. So if you want us to process your check for you, and we'll advance you 80% of those checks right now. So $10,000 check, we'll give you $8 grand until that check comes back from the mortgage company. It's only 1.95%. So less than a credit card processing fee. And really, you're able to have a lot more control and predictability over your accounts receivable on your insurance claims.
Wow, it sounds like it. This is fantastic. Now, do you guys only service like the Florida or Texas area? Where are you guys located?
All 50 states.
All 50
states. We are actually in beta right now with a top 10 carrier in all 50 states. And then pending the successful completion of that beta, which is going, swimmingly so far, they will roll this out as an option, digital payment to all of their claimants every year, which is over 40,000. So it would be amazing for us. It's such a huge win to have that as an offering, because we've been working to eliminate this check from day one. And even the mortgage companies now are starting to see like, wow, this is a huge cost savings for us. We don't have to take these physical checks in anymore and read these documents just to sign the back of that check and then mail it back out. We can eliminate all that for the carriers, the mortgage companies, and it's solving for a big pain point right here within our industry as well.
Absolutely. And it seems like the pain point for the homeowner and the contractor too. It sounds like they can get their job moving a lot quicker, and being with a reputable company like yourself, man, that's fantastic. So if somebody wanted to reach out to you, do you have a website? Do you have a phone number, or both?
We have both. So it's just iink.com, iink.com. Our phone number is 833-GOT-INK, GOTIINK. So it's 468-4465. And reach out to us, get a demo of the platform, ask all the questions that you want. Let's run through some scenarios, and we'd really love to show you how ink from any company, it doesn't matter if you're brand new or if you're doing 20 million plus a year, I think we can provide value to any size company that's doing any sort of restoration work.
I love that, man. So check him out. What is it? iink.com.
Ink.com. That's right.
Ink.com. Check him out. He'll hook you up, free demo, all that good stuff. The homeowner, the contractor, the insurance company, the mortgage companies will thank you for going with Ryan Holliday at ink.com. Thanks for coming on the show, brother.
Thank you, Ty. I really appreciate it.
Yep. You have a good one.
You too.
Thank you guys for tuning in once again.